So it's been an interesting season for Manchester City, and I think one of the biggest weaknesses has definitely been Manchester City's midfield. Once the position of utmost strength, easily the best in the world in midfield for an awful long time. You think of the genius of Fernandinho, Rodri, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva at his peak, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Yaya Toure. We could go on and on and on about the midfield talent City have had over the years, but it looks like, unfortunately, too many of them are moving on. David Silva has gone, Fernandinho, Gundogan old, Kevin De Bruyne old, Bernardo Silva old, and also, unfortunately, you look at people like Calvin Phillips and Nunes, and they haven't really landed a signing. So City are very much in the need to get some new quality in midfield. Rodri, of course, is still there. Phil Foden can play central. 𝙏𝙬𝙨𝙩𝙬𝙧 has come in as well. And of course, as well, Nico Gonzalez looks like a cracking player. But there's still a need for a little bit of a refresh there. So for today, I go through a whole bunch of players in different positions that could bring in some creativity or steel in the heart of Manchester City's midfield. And I'm going to start initially with a very obvious name, one on the lips of many people in the Premier League in particular. Carlos Baleba, the 21-year-old Brighton midfielder from Cameroon, defensive midfielder or a complete midfielder, whichever way you want to look at it. He's an absolute phenomenon, and he's been another sensation unearthed by Brighton. Obviously, Moises Caicedo before that. You go through the talent that they've signed for basically peanuts, and you realise that Brighton scouting is absolutely excellent. And I think this guy might just be the best of the lot of them. If you think about his attributes, he's incredibly physical, pacey, incredible stamina, strong in the challenge, good in the air. You rise challenges so well with that acceleration and that desire to get past people. A great passer as well. We've seen him ping diagonals against Manchester City. Not the greatest of finishers recently against City, but I'm sure that will improve. I reckon he's just doing us a favour there. He presses really well. He tracks back as well, and he's intelligent as well. And I saw a lovely little stat that summed up Carlos Baleba in a nutshell. Only 300 players have clocked 900 plus minutes under the age of 23 in Europe's Big Five leagues in 2024. So 300 players have over 900 minutes. Only 3 of them averaged 1 plus of the following metrics per 90: shots, progressive passes, progressive carries, tackles, interceptions, aerial duels won, successful take-ons, and fouls drawn. So he averages 1 plus of each of these stats per 90. And only 3 players in the top 5 leagues in Europe in 2024. Conor Bradley, Elliot Anderson, 2 very good players, and one of them, Carlos Baleba, a complete midfielder. Look, it costs an arm and a leg to get there, I'm not stupid, but he would be the perfect foil for Rodri and bring that aggression and desire that we've definitely been lacking at City for an awful long time now. It feels like for this season in particular. And the way football's changing, he'd be a great signing. Of course, the next one is a very obvious one. Florian Wirtz, the 21-year-old Bayer Leverkusen wonder kid, attacking midfielder, so this is the different end of the spectrum to Baleba. I think a creativity is needed given the fact that Kevin De Bruyne, unfortunately, probably will be moving on, if not this summer, and very soon, or the summer after. And I think it's fair to say that his powers have been on the way in for a little bit now, De Bruyne, and he doesn't feel quite like the superstar that he was, if not the best playing Premier League history over the past few years. Of course, this German international would come at a premium. You're looking at 100 million plus easily, but you can see why when you look at his career stats. 191 games for Bayer Leverkusen, 56 goals and 63 assists. That's 119 goals or assists in 191 games at 21 years old. So you got to add the age tax to that as well. This season, 9 goals, 11 assists in 25 Bundesliga games. So that's 20 goals or assists in the Bundesliga, and he's got 6 goals and an assist in the 9 Champions League games. They are the stats of a remarkably talented player, and I think it's fair to see why so many clubs, City included, are interested in him. Technically gifted, a wonderful dribbler. He glides past people like Andre Iniesta. He really does. Exceptional goal scorer, a fantastically diverse creator of either foot. Just such a wonderfully gifted player. Would easily step into the creative shoes of someone like Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, he might not be KDB, who is once in a lifetime kind of player, but Florian Wirtz is very much worth the hype. A remarkable player. Just one that won't be easy to get. There's some rumours that he might follow Xabi Alonso to Real Madrid in a year or 2 from now, or maybe go to Bayern Munich. But if City can get him, I think they'd be stupid not to get there. Now, the only thing is, he might be a bit too expensive. So what about someone who could be a little bit more of a bargain? This is where Alex Baena comes into it. The 23-year-old Villarreal attacking midfielder. I really like this guy. Such a wonderfully gifted player. Such a diverse creator as well. isn't just the fact that he can create, it's slide rule passes, it's in-swinging crosses to the back post, zipped early passes from deep. That's why he reminds me a little bit of De Bruyne. It's the versatility, the repertoire of passes, and his stats more than back it up as well. Positionally as well, his loan spell at Girona taught him a bit as a wide forward. I'm checking my notes here. He also played as a double pivot at the under-21 championships for Spain, and now he's sort of in a free role coming off the left of Villarreal, but he can play as a midfielder, he can play centrally, and no player has created more chances in La Liga this season than Alex Baena. He's ahead of Rafinha, Pedri, Modric, all these people. He's got 80. He's got Rodrigo, a great season, 46. Alex Baena is an absolute chance creation machine. Wonderful. You look at this graphic as well that compares his expected assists per 90 versus the percentage of passes that are progressive, i.e. forward, and he's absolutely remarkable, as you can see right up there at the very top. I mean, this is the thing about him. It's not that he rushes the ball either. You'd see this about progressive passes and think, does he just hurry it forward? No, he doesn't. He's not like hurried on the ball. Just a bit like KDB, he's just confident in his execution. So he's aggressive because he pulls it off. And this stat is remarkable. In 2024, he became the first player to create 100 plus chances in a calendar year since Messi in 2017. In La Liga. That's ridiculous. 14 assists last season, were the most by a player under 23 since Mesut Ozil in 2011, and he leads Spain's top flight for expected assists over the last 3 seasons, so 23.4, as well as this season specifically of 10.5. Look, honestly, this guy's a chance creation machine and probably coming at about half the price of Wirtz and Baleba, about 50 million quid. Honestly, he's one we should be looking at big time because I really like this guy. Likewise, if you want someone a little bit cheaper potentially, look at Tijjani Reijnders, signed for 20 million from AZ Alkmaar. AC Milan have got themselves a bargain there. At 26 years old, the Dutch international is a central midfielder who's absolutely complete. He reminds me a little bit of a Bernardo potential replacement as he gets older, simply because he has that incredible ball carrying ability. 6'1", so bigger than Bernardo. He's he's good sized, he's strong, he's got the vision, he's got the stamina, ball carrying, ball progression. He's good from shooting from long. He's such a technical player, and I've made no qualms about City's need for technical brilliance. I felt as City have progressed through the years, our midfield technical abilities dropped off a little bit as Gundogan and David Silva left, and I want that back. It's been heightened with no Rodri this season and De Bruyne dropping off a little bit. People like, Nunez and Kovacic, they're just not at the level technically of City's great players, and Reijnders absolutely has, this wonderful profile of technical brilliance. Look, he's a Dutch footballer who plays in central midfield. Of course his feet are good. I would definitely be very happy if City signed him. Look, the next on the list for me is a young lad. It might not happen, but I'm a big fan of this guy, Sverre Nypan, the 18-year-old Norwegian midfielder. He plays for Rosenborg over in Norway. Look, this kid is a wonder kid. I'm very much excited by him. The rumours are that Arsenal want him and Girona too, but he was actually at the Etihad Stadium this season watching a game with some rumours that he was talking to City about a potential move, maybe for the City Football Group, I don't know, but either way he was speaking to City, and it's easy to see why so many big clubs are interested in this complete midfielder. As an 8, double pivot, false 9, number 10, this 6 foot 18-year-old is already in his second full season professionally, 8 goals and 7 assists in about 25 games this season. Look, he's remarkable, he really is. There's never any guarantee they're going to make it at this age at the top, but he looks ridiculous. Honestly, you watch him play and immediately you just get this feeling of a special footballer, dictating play from deep if you want him to, dribbling like Iniesta, gliding past people, a truly complete midfielder. Put him deep, he's fine. Great spatial awareness, very press resistant, amazing technical ability, great work rate, presses box to box, gets forward, late runs into the box, scores goals. It sounds like I'm describing a genius, but he might just be 18 years old. Look, he's not going to be complete, but if we're putting the age profile of our squad down and Hugo Viana wants potential superstars at a young age, he could fit the bill here, and I'd be very much happy if him coming in and sort of learning from Nico and Rodri and so on. It'd be a cracking signing. If you want someone else as well as a more traditional number 10, what about Xavi Simons, the 21-year-old RB Leipzig attacking midfielder, the Dutch guy? Look, he hasn't got quite the profile of Florian Wirtz, but he's a cracking player. They've just signed him for a reasonably cut price deal with the idea of selling him for around 67, 70 million quid. He's had 2 months out this season so far, but still 7 goals, 5 assists. That's 12 GA in 18 games. 2.3 key passes per 90, 10 big chances created. Look, he's a cracking footballer, a balletic footballer. He's mastered the half turn, a little bit Modric that way, a little bit KDB in the fact that he's got such a rounded attacking skill set, a well-rounded passer, a great carrier of the ball. He can shoot with either foot, an absolute rocket of a foot as well, a proper ball striker. And he's already proved himself in the Bundesliga and been excellent against Manchester City in the past. I really like this guy. Very much under the radar, given that Musiala and Florian Wirtz dominate the German league. But Xavi Simons is a cracking player that I would very much be happy to see in a Manchester City shirt. I think he could go from strength to strength. Get him done, Manchester City. I would really like him. Look, if you want to go a little bit closer to home and get that English tax, this guy would be worth it. Adam Wharton, 21 years old, a central midfielder at Crystal Palace, signed only about a year and a bit ago, from Blackburn Rovers, and he's been absolutely fantastic. I really like this guy, man. A cracking talent. I hate to say it because of United plays, but he reminds me a little bit of Carrickle Scholes. He actually reminds me a little bit of Michael Johnson as well, the academy player I went to school with, for what it's worth, at City. A cracking footballer, didn't quite get there. But what he reminds me of Adam Johnson is that he has that incredibly cultured, almost Spanish English footballer look. 2-footed, reading of the game, his movement, his passing range. He's just confident on the ball at 21 years old. He's absolutely phenomenal. And I look at this stat here. He doesn't just keep the ball. He passes it progressively. He's a relentlessly progressive passer. Look at this stat here. As you can see, right at the top there. The guy gets the ball and he gets it forward and he does not lose it at the same time. That stuff to me is really, really, really impressive. Once again, he would not be cheap. He'd come at an English premium. But alongside Rodri, alongside someone like Nico Gonzalez, he could be the dictator from deep that we need to round out our midfield, and I'd be very happy to see him in a City shirt. Last but definitely not least, probably, maybe arguably the most talented on this list could be Rayan Cherki. Is it Cherki? Is it Rayan Cherki from Olympic Lyon, 21 years old. Look, it feels like this guy's been around forever, doesn't it? What a remarkably gifted footballer. Truly is a very special talent. He's played a little bit out wide as a winger often, as you see these young players do. David Silva, of course, started as a winger when he was a little bit younger before drifting centrally, and this could be another one that fits this profile. He's in a stupidly gifted reign of form right now. 18 assists and 8 goals in 34 games, so that's 26 contributions in just 34 games, and I think he's got like a goal or assist in his last 8 games in a row, something like that. Look, he's absurdly gifted. He's one of those guys that does things that you go, whoa, like actually whoa. A little bit De Bruyne-esque that way in terms of he sees passes that others just don't. Very little backlift with the way he strikes the ball. A true magician. But there's always a catch usually with these people. He looks like for Rayan Cherki that he might not be the most physically impressive specimen. He isn't the hardest worker. He's one of those guys that you give the keys to that will produce a magic. Maybe a little bit Mesut Ozil that way. But he's not going to be the guy who's going to press box to box to box. But he's so talented. He would come at a decent price. I think a lot of Europe are waking up to him this season. He's always been on the wish list for many clubs, but right now he's having a bit of a breakout. So talented. Look, I would love him at City. He'd be fun. Would he work as hard as maybe the Premier League? No. Maybe he does? No. But would he do special things? Would we fall in love with him? Yes. He reminds me a little bit of Arsenal Sami Nasri, actually. Similar level of genius, but maybe not quite the work rate. But he would be more than welcome at Manchester City. So they're the choices that I've come from. If you want some brilliance for a lot of money, Florian Wirtz could be your man. If you want the English midfielder to come in and learn from Rodri and play in a double pivot, it could be Adam Wharton. Xavi Simons, a cut price alternative to Florian Wirtz with maybe just as much talent potentially. A cracking player. Tijjani Reijnders, brilliant Bernardo Silva-esque replacement. Sverre Nypan, the Norwegian wonder kid, could be like the new Odegaard, if not potentially even better. Rayan Cherki, the mercurial gifted playmaker. Carlos Baleba, the brutal box-to-box complete midfielder who can play alongside Rodri. Or Alex Baena, the 23-year-old Spanish creator who's absolutely electric right now over in Spain. Guys, let me know which midfielders you would like in this side. Check out my other videos on the channel right now. I don't know which ones are up, They'll be on screen right now if they are. Give the video a like and subscribe if you're new to this channel as well. In a bit, blues. Bye bye.